Call the meeting to order. Everybody stand to cite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ashley, can I have roll call, please?
Menard. Here. Hibma.
Here.
Jurdy.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Briggs.
Here.
Cavalier.
Here.
Clot.
Here.
Okay, it's time for the open forum. If anyone would like to address council on any issue not on tonight's agenda, may come to the podium. State your first and last name and address, please. Nothing from the chambers. Anybody on the phone bridge? Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Agent logged off.
Okay, no presentations. This brings us to the agenda. Does anyone wish to add anything to tonight's agenda? Ashley, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Under item 8.04, a resolution regarding the City of Crookston Special Appropriations Grant Program, the SPAP, for the Colborne Property Development. We had a resolution change on the whereas. We had to identify the General Fund 101 and we had to do the 401 Municipal Land and Building. So that was the only change on that resolution. We're also asking the council if we can add item 8.05, a resolution regarding the approving the partial payment estimate number 4 for the Central Park Campground Improvement Project. And item 8.05, a resolution regarding the payment for the Central Park Campground Project.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Your Honor.
Got Clayton, or
Delane.
Delane and Henry.
Okay.
Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Menard.
Aye.
Okay. Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. This brings us to the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Can I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
I'll second it.
Got Tim and Clayton, thank you. Roll call, please.
Menard.
Aye.
Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. No public hearings. This brings us to the regular agenda. Ashley.
Item 8.01 is a resolution declaring a vacancy for the Ward 5 elective office.
Can I have a motion to approve this resolution? Got one, Don, but is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Clayton, thank you. Discussion?
Yes, consistent with Ways and Means discussion, we prepared a resolution declaring a vacancy in Ward 5. We have received a letter of resignation, so this just ratifies, and consistent with our charter, you can declare that a vacancy. I should say we've had one inquiry, just a matter of general inquiry about what was involved, but no indication from anyone at this point of any desire to fulfill that position.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Can I clarify, have we put something out saying that we're asking for names and a reason why they're interested in running?
Yes,
Okay, and that was all we've gotten?
That's all
What
we
was the due
got.
date again on that?
when they had to let us know.
Yeah,
I think it was by the 8th.
the 8th,
There would be a Ways and Means discussion and interview if we got anybody's.
okay. So there's still another week,
Yes.
Kind of goes back to my
2 weeks?
previous
Yes.
conversation about getting rid of wards and going with that large is because I feel that this is going to be a never-ending deal when it comes to election times. We're not going to have people in certain wards, so just another point on that issue.
I would counter that argument by saying that I think that every area should have the opportunity for equal representation. And if they don't want to and nobody's gonna stand up in Ward 5, then that's on their own merit that they want to or not to.
for us just to make a decision that we blanket at large everywhere, and then like, what happens when everybody is in Ward 1 and 3? You know, I just feel like it's not the clear
Listen,
representation that we
people,
could have for
people
that.
call from Ward, whatever, call me, and it's not that I'm gonna ever say, no, I can't take your call, you gotta call your ward rep. Every one of us has gotten a call from somebody outside our ward, and we've helped them the best we can, so I
No,
don't,
I understand that, Delane, but I would say at the same time, like, it's very different when it's your home, in your home area versus not. So
Okay.
that would be my concern and
And we are
hesitancy with that.
discussing, so you know, some potential derivatives or potential solutions. But we've still got till the 8th.
Yeah. It's 2 more weeks.
Further discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Menard. Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.02 is a resolution regarding the authorization to apply for the United States Department of Commerce, DOC, Economic Development Administration, EDA, regarding the Public Works and Economic Adjustments Assistant Programs.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Henry.
I'll second.
I think I heard Don. Thank you. Discussion.
Yes, this is, if you'll recall, last council meeting, we had a Ways and Means, and this is brought forth by Carrie and also Sean Ranum. This is authorizing application for up to $3.3 million of assistance for the industrial park relating to the overall development. You'll see in the resolution that we have validated that the city is in a position, either through use of cash or use of bonding, to make that one-to-one match. And this is the authorization that Sean and Carrie need to move forward.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Menard. Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.03 is a resolution regarding authorization to submit a proposal to the Minnesota Board of Water and Soil Resources regarding the Habitat Enhancement Landscape Program HELP.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Second by Clayton. Thank you. Discussion.
Yes, what this involves is the potentiality of receiving, I believe, up to $500,000 from the state for planting of, I'll call them natural grasses, flowers, type of thing within our city for a couple of reasons. One, it'll look better. Two, it would reduce potentially some of the mowing that we needed on our Park and Rec department. And then we could have resources for other projects within the city. This is an application to receive that. You'll see that there was a map defining the area or areas that we would potentially use. One of the difficulties would be the Corps of Engineers. We can't plant these types of things within a certain distance from the river, but Park and Rec and Jake have looked at that, and the grant would then be through Carrie. It's an application. We don't know what we'll get, but it would allow that.
Further discussion. So there's nothing, if this application for 500,000 does come to fruition, I mean, there's nothing that can go on the wet side of the levees or on,
That would have to be explored, but that's our initial understanding.
So when we took a tour, Scott Butt and myself, and then I went over the map with Jake afterwards. Nothing is even close to the river. We didn't do anything close to anybody's houses. We mostly stayed in public lands. Out by Bob's Ponds, we went into that one ditch was down by the golf courses that is wet all the time, where it's a hard time getting mowed. That was one of the things, pretty much we were trying to help alleviate some of the harder places where the guys are getting at to mow, and our more public places.
Just to kind of piggyback, some of the spots that we talked about, Wildwood Park, Schuster Park, possibly around the CSC, Castle Park, Kreisberg, out
Yeah.
kind of, yep. So there's about 7 different locations that we've discussed, so,
So you just,
This $500,000, is that startup monies?
That's the cap.
Continue the program over the next while?
That's the cap. 500
Or
would
is
be
the
the,
cap?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we aren't sure exactly how much it'll come to. It depends on the seed mix, because some of it's wet and they want to have certain seeds, and they're kind of they're plants that are indigenous to our soils, they're trying to reclaim some of the areas that we've lost in that, so.
so you just mow it down in the fall and it,
Comes
Reset.
back in the spring.
right,
Yep, or burn it. Yep.
okay.
How much is this actually going to like alleviate as far as mowing is concerned?
well, it all depends how much we can put down, which we don't know yet, but it would help, you know. I don't really have an answer for you. I mean, we are roughly about 450 acres that we mow right now, so.
Does that include the private homes, the private properties that
Nope,
you're doing?
nope, that's just city, so,
That's the nuisance when they're called.
yeah, that does not include the nuisance, so,
I think we're close to a couple hundred acres probably that we're taking, well, if you look at Kreisberg, that's probably,
Yeah.
that was 60 acres, and we've got a substantial amount, it's just all the tallies aren't there yet on it.
So,
So-
what, oh, go ahead.
How does it reduce our mowing?
you wouldn't have to.
You
mow.
don't have to mow it
You don't
because
have to
they're
mow it.
natural grasses
It's a
and
natural
flowers. You
grass,
just let
natural
grow
flower.
for the season.
So it gets like 4 feet high?
No,
So
No.
just, okay. So it doesn't
I think-
stop, it stops growing when it gets to a certain length?
Yeah, it's not trees, and it's just prairie grasses and like some of your wildflowers that are like just native,
Okay,
yeah.
You, maybe if you've driven towards, let's say, Park Rapids, you'll see where they put the pipeline in. They did much of what this would anticipate with the daisies, white and yellow,
Yeah.
lower grasses. That's what
Okay.
this would involve.
Yep. Yeah, and some of the, like Kreisberg, they can't even get over there. It's pretty hard to get into at all, so that area gets kind of long and just weedy. So that's an area that we would totally be reclaiming, and so the trails would go around it, and, yeah.
So just random question for you, and don't laugh because this is a thing. But I know when I was down in the cities area, it became a really popular thing because of this, that people, cities would use goats. They would just put
Yep.
goats out for like a couple weeks at a time in different parks, and they would eat them down, and I'd go running and I'd just see like little goats.
Yep.
I don't know how it
we've
works.
talked about that as a joke in the Park and Rec department, but it's.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, no, but.
Yeah.
They were also some of the nicest running areas that I'd go, is where the
Yep.
goats were.
Yeah, and it takes down buckthorn, the goats are fearless, they'll eat everything. Yeah, we did some studies with the university in Crookston on that, so it's definitely an option, yeah.
Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Menard. Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Plot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.04 is a resolution regarding the City of Crookston Special Appropriations Grant Program, SPAP, for the Colborne Property Development.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So move, Your Honor.
Thank you, Don. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Christie. Discussion?
Okay, what this is, it has a long history. You'll remember in 2020, the state legislature appropriated $895,000 to assist with the AIC road. That was amended in 2022 to include and design. That application was not filed, and so we're now asking your approval to file an application with the Office of Management and Budget. They have a special application process to get the amounts that were appropriated so they can be allocated to the city. And this is the application process.
Further discussion? This should have been in a while ago or not?
It could have been, yes. It was not put in from 2022 till the audit helped us discover that it had not been put in. So that's $895,000 that we've already paid, that we can recoup for that appropriation. Coming back, and you will probably see in the near future also an application for the $452,000 that we have been appropriated by deed to finish the road. It's been paid for, everything's in there, and it will be allocated in the Office of Management and Budget. They just have a process. It doesn't come in a week or two, but once we get the application in, we should receive it.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Menard. Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.05 is a resolution regarding approving partial payment estimate number 4, Central Park Campground Improvement Project.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Clayton. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Henry. Thank you. Discussion.
Okay, what this is, as you remember, June 30th of 2024 is the deadline for us to submit to the legacy grant for reimbursement for all bills and invoices with respect to the campground. Jake, our Park and Rec Director, has been hounding various contractors to get this done. I have been as well, so has Ashley. We received this request for payment from Spruce Valley on Friday. We had 2 people out of the office, so we couldn't get it on the agenda, but this is that payment that would complete what they have done with regard to the campground.
The improvement part.
And the improvement part, yeah.
So this is their final payment?
This is our final payment to them in conjunction with the next resolution. There's a smaller amount.
So we're done paying on this then?
Yes.
This is it? We
With
don't have
these
any
two-
other receipts?
We are told by the contractors that this is my final bill, this is my final payment. We've kept 1% out because there may be
Yeah.
something, but 99% would be paid with your approval of this.
So the partial is 1%?
We held back 1%, just in case there's,
Just a question, because I've never seen this on an invoice. What is mobilization and $94,000?
okay, mobilization is when they accumulate their equipment and bring it to the site. They might have been in Middle River, they might have been in Fertile, they might have been who knows where, but you raise a good point. A number of us has had that, and mobilization seems to be odd, but, and expensive.
So, and then this will account for all of the receipts needed?
Well, the next resolution as well.
Okay, so between those two?
Yes,
then? Okay.
we have been so busy trying to get these in, and they finally came. In fact, 8.06 came today.
So can I ask as well if we do happen to get some additional receipts or invoices after the 30th? Is Legacy Grant, like, do they have any provisions that would allow us to submit after that date?
I am not aware of any, but they do look at the total amount of money they have available. But on its face, they have told us that is a strict requirement.
Okay.
I think that's why we're holding like 1% for retainage too, if there's any
Just,
unforeseeable, whatever.
Okay.
and the total project is 1.4 million approximately. Our local share is about 440,000, and the legacy grant is 1,026,000, I believe. So if these are approved, they will be submitted before June 30th.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Menard.
Aye.
Hibma.
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.06 is a resolution regarding the payment for the Central Park Campground Project.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this
So
resolution?
move, Your Honor.
I'll second.
Don and Tim, thank you. Discussion.
This is essentially for concrete work. We had some setback because the house was originally supposed to be here June 3rd. The provider called before that time and said it wouldn't be here till the 19th. And we had a little delay because Mother Nature wasn't very cooperative. But the house was set and the concrete work was done by Palmer Masonry, and they have in fact poured that now. And they will finish up with a retaining wall in the next day or two. And then also Spruce Valley had to lay in some gravel for the crane to be, or the truck and the crane to be able to turn. That's the $4,306, but all the other is masonry work done by Palmer Masonry and Concrete.
Thank you. Further discussion? So,
Really nice.
so the interior of the bathhouse is done too, plumbing,
I
electrical?
think Jake was gonna talk about that in his report, but he can do it now.
You can wait if you, yeah, if you wish. Thanks. All right, further discussion? Hearing none, can a roll call, please?
Menard. Hibma.
How's it going tonight, Tim?
Jurdy.
Drinking.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Cavalier.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Must be a-
Thank you.
Must be a full moon.
That was on Saturday.
Something's going on.
It was on Saturday.
All right, reports, Corky, please.
Well, as you can see, it's been a busy couple of weeks. One, I've had a number of meetings with Tanner regarding the alcohol ordinance, and he will be here next Ways and Means to discuss with you that ordinance revision. And we will also, Ashley and potentially myself or Jeff, be here to talk about the practical implications of the ordinance, which you have suggested be changed because there are a number of special permits, special uses that are allowed, and that will have practical implications for the clerk. Also, we had a number of meetings regarding maintenance of the city buildings, just who's in charge and who should be responsible. We've developed a list regarding that. 2 meetings with Jason Carlson from Tri-Valley. And at this point, Tri-Valley has generously offered to donate the Tri-Valley building to the city with some monetary contribution. And we're working on that for a resolution once it's been inspected for asbestos, and once we contact MnDOT to see if they would be contributing something to that, because with the cones out there, it may very well be a safety hazard, although they've denied it at this point. Also, Jake and I had a number of calls with the Legacy Grant Administrator to make sure of our deadlines, to make sure what was required, and you saw the fruits of that tonight. We've had a Small Cities Development Grant and 2025 budget meeting regarding Cheetah and some of the things that may be coming within their budget. And then we've had daily conversations with Clifton Larson Allen about our situation here, and I think Michelle will probably tell us that, but we're well on our way to getting audit prep materials to them so that Miller, our auditor, will be ready to come the week of July 8th for on-site.
So are we still within the boundaries of deadlines, or are we having to request extensions?
We are not there for the June 30th, but that is as a result of Miller being able to fit us in. But in terms of what is customary, yes, that's okay. We're not pushing up.
And we requested an extension then?
Yes.
Are we setting ourselves up so next year we're not having to request
We
extension?
are trying to do that. We've met with Cheetah to see if they can get their audit to us earlier. That's one of the issues. Also, many of the issues that have burdened us last year and the year before. Clifton Larson Allen is working on those to set in procedures so we are more readily able to present material earlier. Yes.
So as far as Cheetah is concerned, what was the delay with Cheetah?
It wasn't, because we met about this, it wasn't such a delay, it was they had their deadline, right? And it had not taken into account, because it hadn't been in the past, having to get it in a deadline for us. So next year, we've already talked about next year, they'll make sure they start a month earlier, so then it can match up with us.
I can give you a report. Keenan's not here, but he wanted me to report that he's working with Civic Plus, the host of our website, to set up communication tool where residents can subscribe to receive email and text messages, notifications from the city for a variety of topics, including city meetings, news updates, community events, and more. And they should be able to subscribe on the city website by the end of this week. To be sure to look out for these media notices once those communications are finalized and implemented. And he can discuss this again at our next meeting on July 8th.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, Zach, start with you tonight. Introduced Nate.
So just kind of to start off, we've got Nate started on Monday. So Nate's getting trained in all the multitude of systems that we have here. Phone system upgrade is completely done. So every department, every building has the new phone system. Working on channel 3 today because it decided to give up on us. So I've got Midco and HB Light and Sound working with us on that. We're still pursuing a 1080p update, which will require some new equipment from Midco. That's about all I have, so I'll let Nate introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. Nate Visanti. Been living in Crookston for the last 10 years and came back here to move to be around family again. And before that, I had been in Arizona and DC for a year, but decided to come back here and saw some position open up for IT and decided to bring my skills and all that to the city. So that's what brings me here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
It was fun getting to see all the IT infrastructure already and touring all the different places, so it's been good.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start with Shane, anything?
Yeah, I snuck out of here early last time, so we had a call, and long story short, whatever, I'm back now. So FYI, we do have a thunderstorm watch till midnight tonight. They've been watching it all day, and some of the systems that are coming in, it's going to be quick, probably not really any alerts. The thunderstorms are just going to build relatively quick. So just an FYI for everybody. I did participate with Brian Hansen in a Central Harvest States hazmat exercise. That was a couple weeks ago. It was just a tabletop to go through their emergency response, what our emergency response was, and then coordinating with the county. So it went very well. A lot of talking points came out of it. New firefighter's doing well. So he'll be on the rest of this week, and then he will start shift on Sunday. So excited to have him there and be fully staffed. Chuck, Brandon, Dave Lassard, and myself had a little powwow once we got that rain, and then we had the river levels coming up. So we kind of had the base plan laid out, and then we'd have been able to evolve from there. But thanks to those guys for participating and helping, keeping an eye on the river. Brandon will talk maybe a little bit about the pumps. We did have a villa extinguisher training that went on, and the firefighters sat there all day and trained all their staff. So that was good. Guys are still ongoing with rental and commercial inspections. A couple more grants that we've tried to apply for auto extrication tools, and then one for an O2X workshop, which is going to be based off of health and well-being. Try to get that focused. Hose testing is constant, and preparing for night to night and for ox cart days, because we're going to blink and that's going to be here. So that's all we got for now.
Thanks, Shane. Brandon?
So on Friday at about noon, John from Minnesota Road Water called me. The Mankato area, southern Minnesota, was in panic mode, and they were looking for pumps. So I don't know if you guys remember, 2 years ago, Minnesota Road Water brought us about 8 pumps from different communities, and we were able to send the gesture back. This time we sent 8 pumps to Mankato. Me and Chuck and Shane met and discussed on how many we were comfortable being without in case we had our own incident, and we came up with the 8. So we sent 8 pumps to Mankato, Minnesota Rural Water. I don't know if you saw Mankato's dam failed today, so that area's struggling. So they've been in my thoughts with all the high water we went through 2 years ago. I can about imagine what the Public Works is going through there. So other than that, just getting to the finish line in the utility rate study for the water, wastewater, storm lights. Miranda from A2S will be here in the next meeting or two to go over what her recommendations are on our rates, and that she's done a good job. She takes all of our assets into account to make sure that our depreciating assets are figured into our rates as well. So probably midweek we'll be hanging some door hangers on the homes that haven't responded to the lead survey for the service line. And I printed 200 today. We'll put those out and see what the response is and then go from there. But that's basically Bolio Street is pretty much back to, it needs sod, but other than that, it's back to prior water main replacement status. So other than that, that's about all I got.
Thanks, Brandon. Greg, anything?
Hello, everyone. Just a quick update. July 16th, Planning Commission, we're going to have at least 2 items and possibly more. We're still waiting this week to see if there's any confirmation, but one is for an Otter Tail Power solar panels at Ingersoll Avenue, and the other one is for a smoke shop for retail along the University Avenue, so definitely want to be attending for that. So I'm working with Corky on a Fisher contract for the building official position there. We'll see if that goes through. A lot of back and forth on that, so we'll see how that goes. Was asked, we have to review our fees for upcoming changes based on this liquor ordinance that's going through, so I'm going to be reviewing that and making sure we're current and updated. So especially my building fees, I'll see if that can be corrected or adjusted for what everybody else is doing in the area. Just a couple of roofing projects, Oak Court and Polk County. Polk County is substantially done. Oak Court was, I'd say 75% done now. So they're looking good. Had done, the contractors I think did a good job. That multi-use facility, there's ongoing construction there. Not so much my involvement yet, but there will be more as time goes on, the more the service work gets done. So that's about it for me right now. The rest is just small projects.
When was the Planning Commission meeting?
July 16th, 7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
Yep, in this room. City Council chambers. That's about
Thanks,
it.
Greg.
Thank you.
Corky, you had one more update?
Yeah, I wanted to give you an update on Jeff. I did speak with him today. He said that the moving van will be delivered to his house tomorrow. He and his wife will pack, and they will leave on either tomorrow or early Wednesday. They'll proceed up here They hope to arrive by July 1st or 2nd. They will unload, and then on July 4th, he will fly back to Florida to pick up their 3-year-old. He somehow thought he didn't want to travel with a 3-year-old up here on that long trip. And he'll turn around on the same day, July 4th, and come flying up here. He'll come into, I believe, Grand Forks or Fargo. He'll take a few days to unload, and he hopes to be here for some introductory meetings with department heads and to talk with you all during the week of July 8th. That's his plan, and he's sticking to it.
Thanks, Corky.
Can I ask, in the meantime, are you like documenting processes and things that would need to be kind of rolled over to him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm trying to get files set up to say, here's where we are, here's what it involves, here's who we need to talk to. Yes.
Okay, great.
That's an unbelievable job because there's a lot of stuff
Yep,
going on.
I'm sure there is. Thank you.
Thanks, Corky. Jake?
Just an update on the campground. Last week, Huff Cuts came in with a company also out of Bemidji. They brought the crane in and they got everything set. Then they sealed it last Wednesday, and then by Thursday, H&N Plumbing was in there. They're still in there now. Everything's tidying up. So plumbing, electrical will be there this week. And Palmer will be finishing up concrete for around the building and just tidying up everything. So it's more than likely this week they should be done with everything, unless it decides to rain, of course. But the campground itself, the construction, we're almost done. What's left to do is to mulch and hydro seed. And they couldn't get in there last week to do that. I mean, there was a pond sitting in the ditches down there, so very tough when it's wet. So only time will tell, I guess, when they can do that. You know, we need the sun, some wind, things like that. So the campground the project is coming to a finish. So we just got to pray for good weather.
Opens when then?
Hope is August 1st is what we're hoping. I don't know how long it takes for that hydro seed and things to go, but I truly don't want anyone down there camping when it's not ready to be camped on yet. So the hope is August 1st.
So basically, the park though will be accessible to get to the boat ramp and.
Yep, once the construction's done, I'd like to open that back up, but figure somehow how to barricade it off because, like, again, I don't want people driving on the newly hydro seed areas and stuff, so it's.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Jake, can I ask a question about Wildwood? I heard that like some of the bathrooms aren't working and that there is a water issue. Do you know anything about that?
That has not been brought to my attention from any of the community people in our
And
town.
then also power is not working down there, from what I understand.
Okay, I will get on top of that and dig into that.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jake. Carrie, anything?
We're still working through a lot of the grants and the rebates that are out there. There's 2 rebate programs that are coming out that will be income-based. If you're 80% or under, you can get up to 100% rebates, and if it's 80 to 150, you can get up to 50%. The state has $740,000 is called for here, and that's for home and energy. Where you can replace your utilities. You can replace your washer, dryer, your stove, your furnace, that type of stuff. Then the other one is called home, and that's actually even going to make access for insulation and that type of stuff. 2 separate grants, rebates, I'm sorry. We're just working through the process. Of course, we're on the steering committee to help determine what type of forms, what type of function, how to make things easier. So we're sitting through some meetings on that. That should be coming out here towards in the fall here. And then we'll continue with the MPCA grant, that $4 million, and that is, I'll be meeting with them down at the League of Minnesota Cities, and I'll have a little bit more information on that as to the timing when I come back next time. So, interesting things.
Thanks, Gary. Darren, anything tonight? No report. Thank you. Chuck?
Good evening. Some of my updates, 2024 street update. Everything is done minus the sod that will be going in today or this week, and they should be finishing up both Houston and North Broadway. I will be attending mosquito training Wednesday in Grand Forks, learning about the different types of mosquitoes, classifying them, which ones we should count, shouldn't count, and then bringing all that information back to our crew so that they get proper and accurate counts. The current mosquito count for today was 77, and we are posting that on the city website now. We have a little mosquito counter on there, so that will be updated daily. And weather dependent, we will be spraying Wednesday night. Also tomorrow, we're releasing the garbage survey, sending that out, working with Keenan. We're going to we're just asking questions on current usage practice, current garbage services, proposed monthly bin service, comparative questions on would you rather eliminate the bags altogether and just use bins, have both of them, have it be an option. Or we don't want bins at all. Just getting that out there to the public.
How are you doing the survey? You're sending it out, or?
Yep, so it's gonna be posted on all the city social media platforms, Community Voice, and the city website. And
I was gonna ask, I was thinking about this for the last few months. I'm sure we'd have to pay somebody to do it, but it would be, if they stood out at the garbage location and try to get a survey while they're there dumping off the garbage at the site to see what their thoughts were on that.
You know what we could do, I could check with the transfer station and see if they'll allow us to hang up a flyer that has a QR code on it on some of the pillars out there, or maybe inside the transfer station. And all the residents have to do is scan that, and it brings them straight to the survey.
Would there be a possibility of maybe having somebody standing out there for a few days just to get an idea?
I mean, anything's a possibility.
We'd
have to just look into it.
Look into it and just see if there's like a...
Maybe we can see if we can find a volunteer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't care if we pay them
to
do it, but it'd be nice to, while they're out there. I was thinking about that when I took my garbage out there the other day, just to see if people, while they're taking it out there, if they'd have
catch their opinions.
I think, how we do it, I think that's a good point of having someone there, just because, I've just found typically with like surveys and that, the only people that answer it is if they feel really strongly one way or the other. Like, they'll take the time, but.
And one reason why I'm kind of pushing to get the survey out is when I've been going out meeting with residents, someone calls, says their tree's down, while I'm out there, I'll ask them a quick survey question. Hey, the city's thinking about bringing in this bin service. And honestly, all the people I've met, I think there was only one or two who actually wanted a bin service. Everyone else was, we're just gonna bring it to the transfer station. But, I haven't met the whole town yet. So there could be some people out there who really do want the bin service.
It is interesting. A lot of people that I've talked to, some of my friends, they just want to drive it out there.
Yep. So it's very interesting. But yeah, I hope to get that out there and get some responses. It's, I believe, I don't have the quote in front of me, but I think they said it was 7 to 8 weeks turnaround to get the bins here. So it's not too bad.
Chuck, I know that you're gonna get this question, but we do have some individuals who are not on the social medias or on the internet.
Right.
So they've always asked if there's like a printed copy of that survey that they could take at City Hall. I'm wondering if that's an option as well.
Yep, so one thing we did with, the last survey we put out, we had hard copies here at City Hall.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any chance, just so those people that aren't, you know, on all of those stations going on the radio?
Yep, I was just talking to Sam today from KROX, and we did mention that Keenan can email him either the link or the QR code. We've already had an interview about it earlier today, and I guess that'll go out on the radio.
And I'll be on the radio on Wednesday. I'll bring that up and indicate that surveys are here at City Hall.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, that's all I got.
Thanks. Michelle, update, please.
Yes, I don't have a whole lot of an update. I will talk about the audit again. I can also confirm the goat usage in the Twin Cities. I know the city of Egan actually has a permit that residents can get to have goats grazing on their yard. So if you want to incorporate that permit, that's something you could potentially add. But I know there's some cities that do actually have residential permits for goat grazing, and the cities themselves usually lease the goats. So that is a whole other accounting issue for the for us, I guess. So buy the goats, don't lease the goats. But the audit, as Corky mentioned, is scheduled in for a couple weeks. We are planning to send over preliminary trial balance to the auditors tonight. There are still a few areas, some of the more complicated ones, mostly related to new standards with leases and subscription-based IT arrangements and capital assets that we are finishing up. But they are just doing some preliminary kind of analytics and review of the trial balance at this time. They're not going to really start digging in for another couple of weeks. So we are giving them some preliminary numbers and a lot of the audit work papers that we already are completed with. So we're definitely kind of working hard to push to get the last pieces to them so that we can get the audit going and hopefully get it really wrapped up quickly and not have it stretch out as well. We're hoping that everything is really nice and clean for them and that we will get it done in a few weeks and we will have the finished audit to you shortly.
Good work, Michelle. Does this mean that we might be getting close to having at least a glance at where we're at a 6-month window for the budget and how revenues and expenses look at our halfway
Absolutely.
point?
That is definitely the intent, is that we'll have a financial statement in July for you to be able to see where we're at through June.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
My question is I feel like we just finished this, but do we have, and I guess it's hard because, you know, with Jeff and everybody coming in, but a timeline of when we would start talking budgets again, so we're not so last minute down to the very wire?
Yeah, and Corky and I briefly talked about that as well. I know a couple department heads have approached me too and just kind of given me some notes or things they wanted questions on. So we were talking about potentially late July starting those discussions. I would say definitely really getting into it in August so that we are then, you know, it's going to be a process certainly so we can see, of course, current year budget to actual and then also getting those budgets kind of planned for the fall. So that is the planned timeline. I think we'll really get into them probably in the August timeframe, but certainly starting some of those discussions now.
I can tell you when I spoke with Jeff today, he and I discussed it and I said, and he agreed that probably middle to the third week of July, he will be meeting with department heads to do that very thing.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Start with Morgan, anything?
Had the EDA meeting where we talked about all of the upcoming grants. So Carrie has a lot going on there and a lot working on there. It's funny you should say, I've had some residents come up and ask when we are gonna start getting the trash arm, so I'm excited to see where that survey says. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you. Christie?
I'm heading down to the League of Minnesota Cities conference tomorrow, so I'm excited to see what legislation and different things are changing and learning more about opportunities for the city. Other than that, that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Bring back lots of info.
I will. Share my report.
All right. Henry?
Nothing for me.
Thank you. Clayton?
Nothing from me, Your Honor.
Don?
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the police department for the quick response for a couple of emergencies that happened in Crookston over the past few weeks. It's service well done. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Delane?
That's night, Your Honor.
Tim?
My turn? I just want to wish our LGBTQ community members happy Pride and, extend that greeting out to their family, friends, and allies as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
So the DCDP, in conjunction with some of our community members, is hosting the Fiesta de Crookston on July 9th. And that should be a pretty great event for the city as well, so something to encourage everybody to go to.
Were they having it?
I believe it's in the downtown where they normally do.
At the old Wayne Hotel?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Nate, I'd like to welcome you once again. I'll probably get the name wrong, and if I do, I really apologize. I think it's Terry Wolf down at Wildwood Park. It's across from the fire hall, or Wildflower Park, sorry. Anyway, he's a gentleman's been spending a lot of time down there, and I happened to go in there over the weekend, and it really is amazing what they've done down there. So if you got some time just to go wander through there, it looks awesome from the road, and it's even more awesome when you get down in there. Reminder, there is a CHEETA meeting tomorrow morning, right? Okay. I'll remember that next time. There is no Ways and Means meeting tonight, so nothing else come to council. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.